to Rigasa, and we took buses there. We ate everything, fish, meat, kilishi, everything. Then we came back to Abuja. The wonderful thing about that trip, we had people from 5 different countries. Meanwhile, it was supposed to be a Nigerian trip. And first time most people in Nigeria was on a standard gauge train. So now we are going to do a repeat. So we'll give you the dates for Ibadan when we'll do that, and still courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, but we want to add it to our trip to Idere. Now about our trip to Abuja, we'll be doing 3 places. It's like a 3-day place tour to Abuja. We have 2 options for you: 3-star hotel, 4-star hotel. We have a single occupancy, double occupancy, and we have opportunity for people in Abuja to join us. So every tour operator who wants to be part of it, we've already added your markup to it, so you don't need to increase the price. We want to make it affordable for everybody, between 105 thereabouts. So we've added airfare, transportation for 3 days in Abuja. That's bus take us everywhere we are going, and we've added the picnic, the city tour, Katankwe Hill, Mbappe. We have a picnic by Zuma Rock. So all these things will put together into a package, and we've added your markup. So when we send you these rates, you don't need to add anything to it. Your commission is already embedded. We want it the same rate all over. It will start between Lagos and Abuja for now, and later Abuja to Lagos. Then later we are going to add Port Harcourt. There's a large number of people in Port who are asking for it, but the airline wants to start from Lagos. Our partner airline now is Dana. Dana Airlines, the 737, the new aircraft they brought. So we'll be starting with Dana, and we leave on Friday and we come back on Sunday. We leave on Friday in the morning and we'll come back on Sunday afternoon. And we'll start every 2 weeks before it goes to every week. So if the numbers are full, because of social distancing, we cannot take too many people. You know, the buses, we have to, instead of 1 bus, you have to take 2 buses, so there will be socially distanced spaces. So the cost, we want to make sure the cost stays very minimal, so it's affordable to everybody, between 100, 105,000 for 3-star. So everybody is covered: the buses, the picnics, the entry fees, what's it called? The commission for the tour operators. So the first trip is supposed to be next weekend, but we just concluded with the airline today. This morning, the final agreement was done this morning, so we couldn't get across to you. You know, issues about refunds, about no-show, about cancellations, everything has to be agreed before. And there's still one aspect we haven't tidied up for kids, and that will be done before the end of close of work today. So if you are interested in that, please send an email to info@7wonders, Niger7wonders.com. Thank you. Ask your questions, we'll answer. So we'll go straight to our first guest today. And our first guest today is no other than Dein Gbabo. Dein, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, before you start, we want to play a clip, right? We want to play a clip that tells your story, then you can tell us the story. So
sure.
Can we go ahead with Dein's clip?
lead you home. That will lead you that will lead you home.
Okay, Dein.
Okay.
So tell us, take us home. Take us home.
Yes, I am happy to. I had already said this Niger 7 Wonders clip will not be complete if we do not touch some rich local experiences. And today it gives me so much pleasure to talk about a visit to Oporoza Island in the Niger-Delta. I know for a lot of us, I'm sure pretty much everybody here on this Zoom, I can say only about 2 people I'm aware have probably been to this region, and I've explored this area to see the rich culture we have to experience and to share with the rest of the world. For most of the publication and all that you find on the internet everywhere, you only see the terrible stories and the negative reports and all of that about the Niger-Delta region, our creeks, the islands, and the entire destination. But today, I'm coming from an angle of tourism and to tell you what is expected if you're trying to explore these areas. As you already know, this region sits beautifully on the Gulf of the Atlantic Ocean. We have lovely rivers and creeks, and it's a beautiful destination if you're the type that just wants to get away from the city life and just want to get lost in an original cultural feel, to just go back to the basic stuff, like, you know, exploring the real deal and seeing for yourself. So that trip, the little clip that was shared was from my experience to Oporoza. It's a beautiful island in Delta State. Getting there from Warri is about an hour, 30 minutes boat cruise from the jetty to the destination. I know an hour, 30 minutes can be like forever, but because what you're about to experience is not the regular and it's not what you'll see every other day, it's a totally exciting journey. First, you're bound to see various villages and people. You'll see people swimming in the river. You'll see lots of boats and canoes cruising like normal, the same way you would enter your bikes and keke napep and buses in Lagos, in Abuja, and every other place you're viewing from. It's how you'll find people living their daily lives on water. Most of the houses, the villages are right there in different islands on the water, and it's an amazing experience. So when you get into Oporoza town, what kind of experiences do you look forward to? You can have a total full day or 2 hours walking tour of the entire island. You can tour the entire island on foot. So you're bound to see lots of families going about their daily lives. You'll see people in their ponds. You can have a full day time exploring fish ponds around the village. You're going to find people going on, you know, there's a crocodile pool area as well where you can spot crocodiles. Go there at your own discretion, but it will be a lovely sight for you to see as well. I mean, the locals are there to guide you, to tell you, like, these areas, you find crocodiles, there are snakes in the rivers, and things like that. You can also go canoeing on the canal. So there are canoes there with a little fee, 200, as little as 200 naira. They're willing to carry you on the boats and paddle around the canal and come back to the jetty area. It gives you views of rich scenery, lovely agricultural sites, lovely farmlands. The forest area is there. You can also explore. If you're type into agriculture and things like that, you will totally love it here. And then again, if you're lucky and you go around April or sometime during the festival period, you would meet lots of people who come here to explore and just, you know, be part of the celebrations. During the Easter time, they usually have the community parties, like the one that was featured in on the clip that was played earlier. You'll find lots of people of all ages from neighboring communities. They gather there in the King's Palace, and we dance to local music. We eat lots of fish, pepper soup, and all kinds of local Niger-Delta delicacies, which you should try anyways. And it's a totally amazing experience. A notable festival that happens this period is called the Amasekumo Festival. The Amasekumo Festival explores, that's the King Palace view in there. It's amazing, it's so beautiful. If you're the type that's into photography, to cover local content, you would love it here. The palace is made with gold and gold sculptures all around, and everything there are locally sourced materials you'll find in the King's Palace. It's totally beautiful. This is another king though, but keep scrolling. Yeah, this one is the one I was talking about earlier. The chiefs are dressing, the rich culture, it's something that is second to none. This is the typical dressing of the chief, the Ijaw chief, if I do say so, and then the chiefs who are surrounded by the king. So as I was saying, the Amasekumo Festival celebrates the Amasekumo, who is believed to be the deity of unity, peace, and progress. So they celebrate this over time. It's been on for years now. It happens for 7 days. Here, the neighboring communities all come together with their masquerades. They come around and they display, they go around the village. There's usually a large procession with people, children, adults, everybody going on, following the masquerades around. They do all kinds of tricks and all. And regardless, even this Corona period, the festival held in April. I guess the masquerades did not catch Corona, so it happened. They had their normal life, and it was a beautiful celebration. And as you can see, I tried to represent my family during one of the dances, during one of the parties at the King's Palace. It was amazing. It will shock you, it will interest you. I went home with 50,000 naira for free, just performing my nonsense dance on the stage right there. It was a totally beautiful experience. So if you're into culture and things like this, you will totally love this visit. Another cultural experience you can have in this region is the Benekuru Carnival. This happens is a collection of different attires. So it basically samples local culture. You'll see women in their colorful dresses. They come out in a large street procession. You could meet at least 3,000 people going around the city, dancing, chanting, and just having a good time. It's just a period where you come and have a good time experiencing home and what you can, what you have only in Oporoza Kingdom. During your stay, you can also, if you come during the festive period, you have an opportunity to see a live boat regatta. So these boats are beautifully decorated. You have villagers who are dressed up in nice costumes, and then they'll do all kinds of tricks on water. It's a long procession of different kinds of fabrics. Our local wrappers are designed, and it's just so beautiful for you to see. So the boat regatta is another attraction during the festivals and the carnivals during the period of April and December in Oporoza, Gbaramatu Kingdom. You also have some of the loveliest buildings to explore when you get there. Another place you can see from Oporoza Kingdom, you could decide to do a boat trip to the 911 beach and resorts. This is an actual beach, like what you'll find in Lagos and your other favorite destinations. It's lovely, although there's been some effect on the water. We know the story of our waters in this region, but this part of the beach is actually very beautiful. It's got the clubs, it has full nightlife, there's a presence of a DJ there. So families usually come out. They have about 20 rooms at the 911 resort in Obudu. Families will come out, they will have a good time. Some people go there for weekends. So you basically, you rent a boat from Warri, which is the nearest jetty. From Warri, you cruise into the Gbaramatu Kingdom, explore Oporoza Kingdom, Oporoza Islands, and a lot of other islands there, which also could take you to the 911 resorts where you'll have that experience. So it's like a getaway if you're looking at doing something different from Warri and the environs, to have a nice time with nice music. There are local music present. You can have a lovely barbecue. There's a great fish guy in that place. He does amazing fish. And you know, Ijaw people, we have the best fish. Don't argue with me on this one. So, you know, if you're coming here for fish experience, it's going to be mind-blowing. All types and sizes of fish, barbecue, roasted, pepper soup, fish pepper soup, and all kinds, Manga soup, and all of that. We're happy and we're always excited to share with visitors. Before now, in the past, before the pollution and all of that, if you're visiting a local Oporoza home, they welcome you with a free fish when you come on arrival. So you can keep your fish. You can, if it gets missing at night, I don't know what happened, but you know, you have that fish as something, as your souvenir that you visited this place. Don't worry, we'll happily refrigerate it for you or keep it in the pond until you're ready to go. So you're going back to the city with takeaway fish for the rest of your family. So it's an amazing place. The canoeing experience, the kayaking experience is a must do when you go. Because people are exposed, we've traveled, a lot of us now have personal boats and kayaks that, you know, we have in the village. So when you come and want to engage kids, lots of diaspora Ijaws, they come home for Easter and holidays to meet with family and all. So they engage in these activities when they're around. So there's also an opportunity for you to live with a local. So we co-host our guests during this period, during the festive period. So if you're coming in for the Amasekumo Festival or any of the festivals, even without having to pay on lodge for your accommodation, if you go through the right channels, you have an opportunity to live in a typical Ijaw home. If you know the Ijaw culture very well, we're very happy people. We're very entertaining. We like to receive visitors. We love our guests and we prepare for you with food and plenty of fish. So yes, that's about this. Another experience that could happen and that could be sold as an experience in this region would be a tour of the creeks. For me, I'm very excited to go on boat adventures, maybe because I'm a waterside girl, but I love it. I've met a lot of people who are not from the riverine areas who also love to have that river cruise experience. I know sometimes it could go AYI, you could be scared and all that, but coming to this area, coming to meet experts, we care for your safety, of course, and it will be a lovely experience for you to cruise around and just see the lovely views and the creeks. Imagine going under like a tunnel-like path that is covered with all trees and greenery. It's something you would not find people travel to places. You travel to Bali to see the greens there, and we have this rich, this rich scenery, rich mangroves, rich rainforest. It's all here in our neighborhood, but because it's not packaged and it's not looking all Ajeboyish, if I do say so, we do not explore these opportunities, but it's right there. A cruise from Warri to Oporoza is less than 2,000 naira on the boat per person. If you're chartering a boat for yourself, it's equally cheap, it's affordable. So it's something that we can package for easy tours, for tour operators, close by in Warri and Sapele in Benin. These are places that we could do like a weekend trip to, and just have a different experience, have a real cultural immersion. It's totally beautiful, and it's an amazing place for you to see. So I welcome you to explore my hometown, and yes, the place that has produced some of the finest Nigerians. Hey, yeah, when you have the time, do enjoy it and visit the islands in the Niger-Delta. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, amazing. You see, everybody knows upland. There's this fear we have about water and places on water. But Chichi has talked about it. Shalom have talked about the 38 islands. Isokari has talked about those mangrove. We need to do a lot more trips to the Atlantic part of Nigeria. Thank you for this. And I'll share with you what I think about this. The boat regatta, the festival, and the beaches and the mangrove and the rest of them, these are things we will explore. My personal experience was I went on a shooting expedition to Delta State, and at Bomadi, before they built the bridge, we had to take a boat, try to go over to Bomadi, and I have never seen Nigeria in that light before. So what you're showing us today is the new places we need to know about. I need to go to Oporoza. I need to see, okay, your daddy's birthday is this weekend, right? Happy birthday to him. And if not for the situation, we should have been in Oporoza to celebrate with him, though I know he's not there. So thank you for this presentation. And we need to add it to something unique. Chichi, yourself, Shalom, Steve, everybody is telling us about this Niger-Delta, where fresh water fights with salt water. But there is something unique. 911 Beach is the first building I'm seeing on water in Nigeria for tourists. There are never buildings that are by water in Nigeria or most parts of Africa. All buildings, resorts, they put the residential areas far from water and put the restaurants near water. This is the first place I've seen that it's over water outside Makasutu in Gambia. So this is good. I think we'll go there. I've been to the ones in Ghana that are by water, but 911 is amazing. It's beautiful. Thank you for that, Dein. Before we go to Ime, I want to share some facts with you. In the last 10 weeks, all the presenters on Niger 7 Wonders have brought out 139 different destinations. 139. If we add the one Dein added today, that will make it 141. That tells you how rich and blessed Nigeria is. We have a record of every single one, and we want to share with you the leading ones, the ones that have been mentioned by a lot more people. So number one is Obudu Mountain Resort. Now, this is not the 7 Wonders search. We haven't started the search. This is just based on the presentations people have made. Obudu Mountain Resort is the leading one. Badagry as a whole is number 2. Zuma Rock is number 3. Uguta Lake is number 4. Yankari Game Reserve is number 5. Mambila is number 6. Ferrinrua is number 7. Ibom Golf Resort is number 8. Idere Hill is number 9. Hey, son, Well done. Akwa Falls, number 10. Cross River National Park, 11. Ikogosi, 12. Ocean Groves, 13. Zuma Rock, 14. Gorara Waterfalls, 15. Erejesha, 16. Kajuru Castle, 17. Carnival Calabar, 18. Ezagu Waterfall and Ahom, 19. Idonre Hills, 20. So among all the 50-something presenters on Nigeria 7 Wonders Zoom conference, these are the results, 141 new destinations, and as we are counting down, we'll get a lot more. So we thank you for that. And we'll take on Ime now, so we'll quickly move very forward. Ime, are you ready for us? Ime Udo? Okay, unmute and start talking.
Okay, I am. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Ambassador Ikechi, for your invitation, my invitation to the Niger Wonders, 7 Wonders. Awesome, awesome. Greetings to everyone here on the Zoom meeting. Today, I'm going to be talking about experiences. I'm going to be talking about my experiences. Ambassador Ikechi, you just talked about some of the leading destinations that have been mentioned, and Obudu happened to be one. It so happens that it's one of my experiences, and it is something that I want to talk about. It's something everybody must experience. So I will start with Obudu first, and then I'll go on to the others. I pray that time will permit me. Now, Obudu Ranch Resort, let's talk about that. Obudu Ranch Resort, then used to be a cattle ranch. Now it's a ranch resort. We know it was developed by a Scottish explorer called Mr. Macaulay in 1951. And the resort has, like you just mentioned, generated a lot of interest. You can't go there, but have come up with an experience, which is what I've come out with, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. Now, the resort itself lies on a plateau of about 1,700 meters, above sea level, and it has a temperature of about 7 to 15 Celsius all year round. So that gives it a climate that is very welcome, a climate that everyone wants to experience. How do you access Obudu Mountain Resort? Obudu Mountain Resort is very accessible. You can access Obudu Mountain Resort through Calabar by road, or through Enugu. Unfortunately, the roads are the distances are quite long because of poor road network. It also has an airstrip between Obudu and the resort, and that airstrip I think just does only charter flights. Unfortunately, that airstrip isn't working, but that airstrip would reduce amount of time you can access the resort. So I think that should be looked into. So, but the resort is definitely accessible. Now, how do you get to Obudu? Definitely, when you get from Obudu, when you from the bottom of Obudu right up to the ranch, that is where the experience starts, because you can access the ranch through 2 ways. Either you go by car up the very winding road, like what we're seeing right now, very winding roads. It's an experience. You don't just see it on the picture and then we see a design looking very beautiful. It's an experience for adventure lovers. From the bottom of the ranch, you're driving up the ranch, it's very winding road. Now, while you go through this road, it gives you an opportunity, to view the beautiful landscape, the vegetation, the mountains, the hills, and as you ascend, you begin to experience, the change in weather. Now that also helps you because it's all part of the experience, of the ranch. You can also access the ranch resort through the cable car, and that is also an experience. I also want to talk about that because the cable car is the longest cable car in the world, point to point. It has about I think it's about 870 meters up to the ranch. So it's an experience. You go through the cable car. At some point in the cable car, you feel suspended in the air. You there begin to experience. You're able to look down and see the very winding roads we've seen on the picture. We see the rich green vegetation. We see the mountains, we see the hills. It's a beautiful experience. It's an experience that is unforgettable. Once you get into the ranch, I just want to take us through this ranch because I want to know that understand that this is a very unique experience. It's a resort like no other. Now, once you get into the ranch, you are welcome. What welcomes you is what? It is the weather, the climate. The first thing you experience is that you are beginning to breathe a different kind of air. It is pure, it is clean, and you feel the impact of the air in your system as you breathe. It actually changes your physiological state and mental psyche as you enter into the ranch because there's this calmness that comes around you all of a sudden. So the air, the fresh air, the pure air you breathe right now is excellent, is wonderful. If you're visiting the ranch between, I think, April and September or so, you probably will be welcomed with the clouds. Like we say, go live in the clouds when you go to Obudu. That is just it. You actually live in the clouds. You're welcomed, by the clouds itself. And then you just have this feeling of all around you once you get up there. Now, the ranch resort is blessed with a lot of accommodation. The accommodation type is fantastic because it caters for all pockets. Everyone can afford Obudu. You have from the presidential suites to the mountain villas to the African huts to the chalets, different accommodation types to suit different pockets, different tourists. So there's no excuse to not going to Obudu. Let me put it that way. So the accommodation itself, looking at the accommodation type, you find out that it's the hut is elevated. The architecture of the chalets, of everything makes the entire resort beautiful. It makes it different. You're going to visit the African hut, you're visiting the chalets, you're visiting the villas. The accommodation type is excellent. The resort also has facilities, things you can do while you're up there. You're not just going to stay there and then you're in the room but there's so much to do. One thing I love about Obudu is that it offers all kinds of tourists different experiences. Now, if you're a sport lover, you have the golf course there. I know that currently that golf course is not in use. I pray it's been activated because it also gives an opportunity for golfers to also, visit the ranch. You have the squash, the tennis, and the tennis squash, the tennis courts, and the squash courts as well there for sport lovers. You also have you can also do hiking there for people who love adventure as well. You can also do hiking there. Down below the ranch, you have the swimming, you have the park, the water park for families, for children. So you see, it caters to families and children, people who want to do leisure. Now, for people who want to experience, you do ecotourism and experience nature, there's the canopy walkway there, right there built in the trees. So it gives you a close-up experience to watch, the birds, different varieties of birds, like that. So you see birds in their habitats, you're able to watch, for bird watchers, you're able to watch all of this. So the ranch resort offers you all of this. One thing I love about the ranch, and the memorable experience I have about the ranch is visiting the ranch itself. When we say it is the resort, we need to remember that in the resort, there used to be a ranch, or there is a ranch as well. It's visiting the ranch itself. A memorable experience I had in the ranch was visiting the ranch and actually seeing 2 cows. I would never forget those cows. I don't know if we still have the pictures here, but you see, those are things I think thrilled, added to the experience, of that resort. 2 cows. I've never seen cows as big and as beautiful as that. Unfortunately, I don't think they're still alive. I remember that those cows were sent by the Plateau State government then, and I think they were given names. I think one of them to represent the governor at the time, the Plateau State governor at the time, and I think the current governor at the time. But you see, it was a beautiful experience. And then you find out that you don't go to Obudu and then not leave Obudu without yogurt, without honey. These things added to the beauty and to the experience you feel in Obudu. So when we say go live in the clouds in Obudu, we really mean go live in the clouds because it offers you a different kind of experience, there. There is so much to do there. There is hiking. You don't go to Obudu without carrying your boots, your goggles, your binoculars, your hike, all those things. So it gives you, it's a completely different experience. It has a beautiful conference place there. So if you're a conference person, if you are someone who just wants to take time out, for solitary, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing, wonderful place. So when you say it's one of the top destinations, I want to say really it is. And if you don't go to Obudu and come out of Obudu, you don't go to Obudu and come out without an experience. That's very, very important. So I just want to use the opportunity and, let's take out time and visit, go live in the clouds. On some days in Obudu, you come out of your room and you see the clouds waiting for you by your door, just sitting down waiting for you by your door. So it's beautiful. It's a wonderful, very wonderful experience. So that's one experience I've had. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the Mount Patti. The Mount Patti. Now, Mount Patti is also an experience I want to talk about. Mount Patti is located in Lokoja in Kogi State. Now, when you get into the town in Lokoja, you see Mount Patti, but then you see it as just a mountain with lush green vegetation around it. And you see, it's important that you take out time to experience Mount Patti. Mount Patti is very unique. It has a very historical and very rich culture about it. It is known that Mount Patti was where Flora Shaw, the then wife of Lord Lugard, stood, up there, looked below, and then called it the Niger area. And then which we now call Nigeria. So we say that Nigeria, was coined out from Mount Patti. Now that's a very historical place for every Nigerian, as it were, So you visit Mount Patti. It's a mountain as well, also for adventure lovers. I love adventure, so for adventure lovers as well. Now, how do you access Mount Patti? Mount Patti is there, it's very accessible. One very unique thing about Mount Patti is that while you have winding roads in Mount Patti, you have snaky roads. Very snaky roads going up Mount Patti. You find that going up Mount Patti is equally an experience, because at every point you think you have arrived at the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is a plateau. It's about, I think, about 1,500 kilometers. I'm sorry, 1,500 above sea level. That's and spread about, I think, about 15 kilometers. Or so. That's how wide it is. But going up Mount Patti, the roads are so snaky that every corner is so sharp. So you find you have your heart in your mouth. It's a beautiful experience. And then as you're going up, one very notable thing you experience is the fact that you find birds in the gardens there, chirping, melodious sounds. That in itself gives you strength, because going up, if you're someone who's afraid of heights, you might not feel encouraged to go up. But it's so amazing that nature has a way of even encouraging the tourists. So you find birds chirping just around the woods, around the vegetation there. Very beautiful melodious sound, and that even gives you enough energy as you go up Mount Patti. You go up the road, you go through the snaky road. Very beautiful experience. And then as you get them, you come in. What you see is the baobab tree. Now the baobab tree, they say, has been there for over 100 years. I went up there. It was a beautiful experience. And getting there, I was shocked to find out that everyone who reached the top of the mountain engraved their names on the baobab tree. I arrived at the top of Mount Patti. So I just had to do the same, and I engraved my name there. Unfortunately, I don't have that picture, but it's an experience you must have. And you engrave your name there to show that, look, I went through this hurdle, I went through the snaky road, and I reached the top. But you see, when you get into Mount Patti, you find, to the plateau, the top of the plateau. What welcomes you there again is the cool breeze. You find that at the bottom, the weather is quite hot. The weather is quite hot, I think, because of the river Niger, so it's quite warm down there. But as you're going up, you begin to feel the breeze. And once you get to the top, you begin to feel the cool breeze. So when they say Lord Lugard built his rest house at the top of the mount, then we now begin to understand why. Of all places, he chose to build his rest house up there. So you go up there, the rest house still stays, it's still there. It's still actually, you go there, you see I think there are about 2 rooms there. Through the window, you can actually see the rest house or the guard house, there at the top of Mount Patti. There's so much to do there. It's a beautiful plain. I think I hear currently there are a lot of telecom companies who have erected their antennas there because of the location and all of that, right now. So, that may cause maybe a little bit of radiation, but it doesn't take away the fact that Mount Patti is very historical. It has a very unique, you have a very unique experience going up Mount Patti. You don't go to Mount Patti and come down and then you forget. It's an experience that stays with you. It's better experience than imagined, if I may use that word. So, it's a beautiful place, and like they say, come, explore in the sky. It's just like they always say, it's an excursion in the sky. So it's really, really an excursion in the sky, for Mount Patti. The last one I'm going to talk about, so that I can quickly wrap up, is La Manga. La Manga Beach Resort is a beautiful resort. I know 1 or 2 people have talked about it here, but I want to say here that it is a 5-star luxury, it's a 5-star luxury resort just there on the coastline, the Atlantic Ocean, just around Ilashe Beach here in Lagos. It's a beautiful resort. It has all amenities. You get in there, you see the tall coconut trees around the place. You see the beachfront right in front. It has all kinds of all kinds of amenities. It's self-catering. So you get into La Manga Beach prepared with your, you know, if you're going there as a group, if you're going there as a couple, when you get in there, it's all self-catering. It has a lot of amenities, things you can do to enjoy yourself, you know, while you are there, you know, at the beach. You know, it's a beautiful experience right there in the front of the beach. It's 5-star, it's expensive. I always say to people that no amount of money is worth, you know, hiding, you know, when you need to, you know, take care of yourself and, you know, enjoy yourself. So sometimes it's a getaway. It's accessible only by water. So you can't drive to La Manga Beach Resort. You are either going to go on a cruise using going through Ikoyi, going through Lekki, or going through Victoria Island, any of the jetties around there. Those are the only way. That's the only way you can access La Manga Beach resorts. But you see, it's a getaway. It's a luxurious, fantastic place in Lagos. And I think sometimes from the heat in Lagos, from the pressure, from the traffic in Lagos, it's a fantastic place, you know, to visit. You know, yeah. So briefly, I will just talk about Yankari Game Reserve. I schooled in Bauchi. One thing about, you know, I was lucky. You know, I had my primary education in the west, secondary education in the north, postgraduate education in the south, in the west. Yeah, again. Undergraduate in the south, postgraduate in the west. So it gave me an opportunity to go around a few places. Yankari is a beautiful place. Yankari Game Reserve it's one of the wildlife places we have. I know we've talked about it. One of the wildlife game reserves we have in Lagos. Now it has about 5 warm springs. One of them is the Wiki Warm Spring. That's where the name Yankari. That's where it derives its name from. Yankari Game Reserve. It also has lodges around it. It has animals. There are a lot of species, a lot of bird species, a lot of animals. You know, for those of us who love wildlife, who love gaming, you know, it's a beautiful place to go to. You know, it's been there right from the 80s. Yankari Game Reserve, right, even before then, it's been there. Like, Yankari Game Reserve has been there right from even before that. I know that when I went there a few years back, I was amazed that, you know, even though while I did my secondary education there, it was still, you know, very thriving. Like they say, you know, they're talking about the elephants. You know, they say that, oh, when you go there, you know, the tour guide there will tell you that they have one of the largest, you know, number of elephants there. I don't know how true that is, but I know that I saw quite a number of elephants there. But the challenge with the elephants are the elephants are so much that, you know, they visit the neighboring villages and all of that. But Yankari Game Reserve is a place I think everyone should visit. It's a beautiful experience. It's wonderful. You know, it has, you can find the lion, you find the elephant, you find I forgot the other, you know, I forgot their names. But there's a lot of animals to see, you know, there in Yankari Game Reserve. So this is an experience I'm talking about, you know, and I'm saying if you want to have experiences, unforgettable experiences, touring Nigeria, these are places you cannot rule out. These are places that give you the experiences you want to go back over and over again. So I look forward to every one of us taking a tour to some of these destinations very soon and having experiences that we can always remember. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That was amazing. You took us from Obudu. We went to Mount Patti. We went to La Manga, and we ended up in Yankari. A very good tour of Nigeria, and those are premium destinations. Obudu, we can't stop talking about it. One of the best places God has gifted us with. I remember my encounter with the president of Club Med. We met in, I think it was in Barcelona. And I said, why don't you have a branch of Club Med in Nigeria? And he said, oh, wow. I don't know if there are places of interest in Nigeria. I said, can you imagine the cloud entering your room and you shut the door with the cloud in? And he said, where is that? I said, Obudu, in Cross River State in Nigeria. And the Club Med man says, and I don't know about it. So let's keep telling these stories. And Mount Patti is an amazing place. And La Manga, you see, we stay in Lagos. People say there's no place to go. There is no place to go. There is no place. We are getting to hear about Jara. We are getting to hear about La Manga. We are going to hear about Ikare. Ime, thank you for this wonderful experience and tour around the country. Ime is the Vice President of the Association for Tour Operators in Nigeria. So She's actually visited these places, and there are packages that she will share with you later. So thank you. And before we go to our other guests, I need to be able to share something with you. We found out the 10 states that had done something in the last 12 months to promote tourism. It doesn't mean other states don't do, but we chose 10 states we think that have done a lot in the last 12 months, even before the COVID. And we have chosen them as the 10 most active tourism states in the country. We'll be presenting awards to them and to the commissioners, to the governors. We normally do this in November during Jabama. But because of COVID, we are doing the things we are supposed to do in Jabama in September. And we'll move the things we do in September to November. So why don't you sit back and see those 10 states that we think have done a lot to promote tourism in the last 12 months.
I don't get a lot, God do it. And I don't pay my rent, God do it. If you want for my hand, but God do it. If you want keep my joy, but God do it. I say anything them do not God do it. No, not God do it. No, not God do it, no. Anything them do not God do it. No, not God do it. No, not God do it, no. I don't change my name to God you. I no more, I don't buy more to God you. They say my market no go sell, God you. And then me say I no go blue, God you. Them my brother, let them try their luck, my God go we, no my God go we, no my Lord go we, no. Anything I do not God you, no not God you, no not God you, no. As you don't pass exam, now God you win. And then be say you no go pass, for God you win. You wake up, see today last song, now God you win. Robbers they wrong, they don't see you, brother.
They forgot to put me on. Okay, those are the 10 states that we think had done a lot to promote tourism. It doesn't mean other states are not doing anything, but we want to encourage people a little bit of effort. Work with the stakeholders in your neighborhood. It will bring results. Do you know how many tourists arrived in the Hill today? Students are there. People are going. Just want a few people making effort. Do you know how many people turned out at Mbappe over the weekend? Mbappe is getting crowded. Just a little effort. You know how many people will be going to Obudu? This is the idea. This is what we are trying to do. Let people make efforts. I need to confirm that the first trip to Abuja will be next weekend, 29th. So our first trip to Abuja will be 29th, next weekend. So we'll be doing this trip in partnership with Rosebud Hotel, Horton Suites, and Dana Airlines. So those are our partners. So I will go straight to our next guest so that we quickly run through things today. And our next guest is my guy from Ibadan. Are you ready? Are you ready? Unmute yourself. Omololu President of
Yes,
ANJET.
I'm ready, sir.
Okay. Quickly. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to appreciate the organizer, Ambassador Ikechukwu, for this opportunity to be among the speakers this afternoon at this 10th edition of Nigeria 7 Wonders. Thank you, sir. In fact, I'm so excited this afternoon simply because you brighten my day. Having said there is going to be a train tour from Lagos to Ibadan. What a coincidence. All the tourist sites I'm going to talk about today are situated in Ibadan, or your state. And my reason for talking about those sites in Ibadan is because of the latest development in Nigeria now. That is the introduction of the standard gauge train that will be coming from Lagos to Ibadan. I think it's going to be a memorable experience for tourists traveling all the way from Lagos now to Ibadan without facing any hectic traffic situation along the Ibadan Expressway. Briefly, I will quickly talk about Ibadan. A lot of people might have been passing through the city, but the point is that they might not really know that there are something potential. There are some unique tourist sites within the city worth visiting. Ibadan is in the southwestern part of Nigeria and the capital of Oyo State. Funny enough, Ibadan is known with so many first tourist attractions in the country. Ibadan happens to be the base for the first television station in Nigeria and also the first television station in the whole of Africa. At the same time, Ibadan is the home of the first premier university, the first university in the country, that is the University of Ibadan. Likewise, Ibadan happens to be the home of the first skyscraper, that is Cocoa House, situated in the central business district, known as Dubai. Now, where are the places I'm going to talk about that I'm about to unveil in Ibadan? Number one on my list is known as Eleyele River. If I'm not mistaken, when you're talking about river in Ibadan, an average Ibadan indigene are always afraid of going nearer to anything that has to do with river, simply because of what? Because of the nasty experience of 1980 flood, popularly known as referred to as Omiyale 1980. I could recall it vividly. After Omiyale, any Ibadan people moving nearer to anything that has to do with water. Eleyele River has been in existence for over 77 years. The main purpose of that river is being used by the state government to serve as a reservoir in providing potable water for the residents. But recently, one of the boat operators from Lagos came to that territory and discovered that there is nothing stopping him from introducing a boat ride on that particular water. I can tell you authoritatively, in the last 1 year, now Eleyele River is gradually becoming a mini Mecca in Ibadan. Eleyele River, the boat cruise experience is now changing the negative perspective, the negative orientation of Ibadan indigene, that at water will be friendly, not that anything that has to do with water, it's only about flood. I visited, the very first time I even heard about it, that now at Ibadan, at Eleyele River, you can have boat cruise. I found it very difficult to believe. I have to inform some of my colleagues that we are going on an expedition. They said, to where? I said, to Eleyele River. They said, what is happening? I said, we want to go and experience boat cruise. All of them said they couldn't believe it. They've been staying in Ibadan for more than 30 years. They've never had that you have an opportunity to have the boat cruise in Ibadan. I said, train is believed. Oh yeah, Then we fixed one Saturday like that. On getting there, I was amazed. Though they are smaller boats, but what really impressed me on getting to that Eleyele River is that you are not prone to risk. Before you boarded, you are going to put on your life jacket. And not that the water is that really big, I think it's just about 27 feet depth. But at the same time, the operator, they are not taking any chances. They are not taking the safety of the tourists for granted. There are standby features and that make sure that in case of any negative issues, in case of any minor issues, they are there to rescue. But the point is, they have serviceable boats that are performing very well. Now concerning this water, the vicinity, the environment is so unique. And even while you are at this Eleyele Riverside, you will have access to experience local delicacy. You can't visit Ibadan without having a taste of amala and gbegiri, popularly known as abula. And in Nigeria, you can only get the original abula in Ibadan or your town. There are so many food vendors. You can even have access also to buy some fresh fishes because there are some local fishermen within that vicinity. And not only boat cruise alone, you might really want to experience how they go about fishing. The local fishermen are so friendly, so accommodating. If you approach them, they are ready to take you on a fishing exploration. That is Eleyele River for you. The only thing that I want to talk about at that Eleyele River is that there is need for the Oyo State government to come to that particular site and consider the possibility of building an ultra-modern resort, because it's going to be a good mine of generating revenue for the state. From Eleyele River, the second place I'm going to talk about is Agodi Gardens. Agodi Garden has been in existence for quite a while, formerly known as Agodi Botanical Garden, but later the name transformed to Agodi Gardens and being operated on a PPP. Agodi Garden is one of the ultra-modern resorts you can talk about within the Western region. It's have some interesting places where for relaxation. And at Agodi Garden, you can even have something like a swimming pool where you and your family can enjoy the cool breeze from that particular swimming pool. The serenity, the environment, because of the nice plantation, the trees are so interesting. You can enjoy fresh air. You can go to the water park to play. You can really have a nice time within the swimming pool side. And at the same time, there are so many things like a restaurant, and there are so many places where the children also can really enjoy themselves without any interference. And at Agodi Gardens, your security is definitely guaranteed. The place is well secure. There is no any issue that can really affect anybody or disturb your enjoyment. And also, at that garden, you have the opportunity to experience horse riding. You can ride on horse, and your safety on that during that horse riding is guaranteed, because you have a person who is going to handle it. Now I moved to the next place, which is, I'm going to combine, that is National Museum at Ilashe. National Museum of Unity and Ilashe. I'm going to talk about National Museum of Unity, Ilashe, and Obudu Museum at Cocoa House. National Museum at Ilashe was established in year 2002. It has 4 galleries, and those galleries comprises of the portrait section, the masquerade section, the Yoruba section, the masquerade section, the Yoruba section, and Asho Office section. At the masquerade section, this is where you are going to see so many masquerades within Nigeria, not in Yoruba land alone. It cuts across the masquerades within all the major regions within Nigeria. You will see them in their regalia, how they use to operate, how they used to move out during their festivals. And in that particular National Museum at Eleyele, orgs being built as a place that serves for shopping, as a shopping where you can go to get some art and craft.
We can't hear him again. I think maybe he went to Cocoa House. We can't hear him again, but I want to round up some of the things he has said. I schooled in Ibadan, so I enjoyed what he's talking about. He calls it Omiyale, but most of us who are not from Ibadan, we remember it as what's the name of that? Ogunpa flood disaster. That was what Nigerians do it to be, was Ogunpa flood disaster. So, and it's okay. It was an interesting experience in Ibadan. Anyway, Eleyele, he talked about, he said it's a river. I never knew it as a river. I have a secret. I went to UI, first degree, second degree. During my master's, I was given by the dam there is a water reservoir. The hills there, I was to do my research there. You know, geomorphology, some of those things that had to do with geology, soil study. So I had to carry my ranging pole, go into the water, climb the hills, dig up the soil, bring sample, analyze it to be able to do a mapping. My background is in science anyway. So I was always there. And there was one man that sells, I think it's Ogoro, they call it, the palm wine. When I come out at the gate there, I get to drink palm wine with the guy. So I'm impressed to see that they're actually taking advantage of that place. I have great memories. That was where I did most of my research and experiments. And every day I go there, they have to sign the paper that actually turned up. You know, when you're doing a postgraduate degree, you have to prove that you actually did the experiment. You didn't copy from people. So it was an exciting experience having to go to Eleyele. Then Agodi Gardens, I'm impressed with what they have turned that forest area into. And it's an amazing place. When we get to Ibadan during our trip, I was thinking I will go to UI Zoo, I will go to Botanical Garden, and IITA, but I think we probably have to visit Agodi by now. Then the National Museum. I know Omololu likes National Museum. When he did his youth tourism conference that I attended, it was at the National Museum in Ibadan. So Omololu, we thank you for your contribution and the new places you brought about to add to our list. Our list is growing longer and longer. So I want to bring in one of the big boys from Abuja, the former president of FTAN and the group CEO of Rosebud Hotel. Rosebud is one of our partner hotels. Oga Tomi, Chief Tomi Akingbgun. Oga, you're next. And we want to know the places you want us to see when we come to Abuja. We are coming from next week. So, sir, go ahead, unmute yourself. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
You're welcome. The 10 minutes, sir.
Thank you. How many minutes did you say? All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name again is Chief Tomi Akingbgun, CEO, MD, Hotel Rosebud. Hotel Rosebud is in Gariki, Abuja, I think most of us, you know me also as the past president of Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria. Yes, briefly, I think I will just spend about 3 to 5 minutes on total issues that I'm going to discuss. 3 wonderful places in Abuja. I chose Abuja because I live in Abuja. I've been living in Abuja for about 20 years now. And although I've been visiting Abuja before as economic tourist, then Abuja was under construction. Abuja, we all know, is the new capital city of Nigeria, and it's actually the best city, the best planned city in West Africa. It has a lot of areas that any tourist to Abuja will enjoy, and especially those who are starting on the 29th to visit Abuja. We promise them that they will have a wonderful time. Abuja is noted for a lot of activities, sporting activities. We have the National Stadium and all that. Very good also for shopping, nightclubs, sports, those who will love to exercise and recreation. I mean, but I'm going to actually concentrate on 3 wonderful places in Abuja. Number 1 is the IBB International Golf and Country Club. That is possibly because I'm also a golfer. If you live in Abuja and you don't golf, you are missing a lot. Golf actually brings you very close to nature, and golf is a game that you can play whatever the state of your health or age. That's what they call handicap. That means if you are starting today and someone who's been playing for 30 years, you can still play together because they allow you to make mistakes, while the professional or somebody who is very good is not allowed to make as many mistakes as you. So they can actually give you similar marks. The IBB Golf and Country Club is actually located at Aso Drive in the city of Abuja. It is named after former military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, because actually he was the one that pushed for the club to be started at that time, because it required a lot of land, a lot of money, and government actually needed to actually develop a befitting golf resorts, and this club was actually maintained by government for several years, because building a golf club is not cheap, and it is rated as one of the best golf courses in Africa, and one of the most beautiful parkland courses in sub-Saharan Africa. The IBB International Golf and Country Club isn't actually just about golfing, lawn tennis. They also provide beautiful, beautiful lawn tennis courses for courts for tennis players. If you are also interested in just hiking in developed in urban city, because IBB Golf and Country Club is located in Maitama, a very expensive area. You can actually walk around the players. There are footpaths for you to walk, and you can actually maintain your health if you're just walking. And if you are a bird watcher, there are many birds. You can actually watch birds in IBB Golf and Country Club. And another very, very important scenery that I actually love so much is the crocodile sanctuaries. There's a river passing through the coast, and has many uncontrolled, naturally, they are just in their natural environment. Crocodiles are there, so you can actually come. I've seen the foreigners come there to watch and take pictures of crocodiles and all that. Sometimes these crocodiles come out to the side, to the open area, to beside the water, because they are shy of human beings anyway. So they actually come around and just across by the bank of the river to just sunbathe. So IBB International Golf Club is quite beautiful, and the pictures are there. In the morning, if you play very early in the morning, you will actually be able to experience breathing in fresh air, which I found that unless you start playing golf or walking around the forest early in the morning, you will not realize how much we are actually killing ourselves by staying in concrete areas for so long. You will definitely enjoy fresh air in IBB International Golf and Country Club. I also, so visitors to Abuja next week, it will be nice for you to come to IBB, visit IBB and see. And then if possible, you also start playing golf. Golf takes about 4 hours for 9 holes, and IBB International Golf Club and Golf and Country Club is 18 holes club. So you can actually have 18 holes, which we call 72 pars. That is, if you are very good, you only play 72 times into the hole, tiny holes, pick your ball and you move. So I will say that people have the opinion that that golf is expensive. Yeah, but once you buy your kit, they last you 30 years, 40 years. You don't really need to change them. They last forever. Then visitors to Abuja are encouraged to also visit the 3 arms of government. The 3 arms of government, you know, we are in the civilian regime now, where we have the presidential system, the head of state being the head of government, and we have the executive, legislative, and the National Assembly, that which they are the legislative. So we also, you can actually, the picture that you have there is the legislative arm, the presidential, that's Aso Rock. You might not be able to enter Aso Rock, except you have special invitation, but the legislative, you, as a Nigerian, as a good citizen, you can visit that. And the picture you're seeing there is the, I think that is the police headquarters, where the IG of police is. And then we have the, you can as well also move around the legislative, and then I think what I'm trying to say is the, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, you can move around the 3 arms. The design of Abuja is in such a way that you actually move, the road that's bringing you from the airport actually goes round, and you can turn back to the airport. It takes you straight to the 3 arms of government, the legislative, the executive, and the, that's the, sorry, the third one, it keeps on sitting, that's the legal arm of government. That is called the Sorry, maybe somebody will correct me there. I've just been skipping me. All right, that is about that. And I will also say that when you are in Abuja, one thing that strikes most people when you look at our currency is the Zuma Rock. The Zuma Rock is actually, most of Zuma Rock is in Niger State, while part of it is in Abuja, and majority part of it is in Niger State. But it's very, very close to to Abuja, which is only just about 20 minutes drive, well, less than that, to there. In Abuja, anywhere, you can actually drive across Abuja 20 minutes. We don't have serious holdups. Then Zuma Rock is actually worth visiting, because this actually is it is very, very unique. I was actually talking about judiciary, kept on skipping me the last few minutes. Zuma Rock is a rock, they call it monolith. Nature created it, and it's a monolith, it's a rock with a human face. When you look at this picture that you're looking ahead, there you can actually see the face, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth of the. Thank you very much for that. And you can actually see the face, and Zuma Rock was actually identified by the local inhabitants around 15th century, when they settled around the rock in Zuba. They call it Zuba people. And then the people called this Zuma, well, the rock that we call Zuma Rock now, they call it Zumwa. That is meaning that a place where you can, that's easy for catching guinea fowls. Thus, the name now changed from Zumwa to Zuma. On getting to the forest, of course, they settled around this because it also gives them protection against constant people who are at war with them. And of course, because of that, they gave it a spiritual meaning, that is that they believe that there are spirits there, positive spirits that are protective, and makes them to believe that this is God's given protection. And sorry, I'm on Zoom. All right. Then the rock itself is 725 meters high. It's unique for those who love to do mountain climbing. And there are more difficult areas, there are easier areas. And so definitely those who want to do mountain climbing have to be properly kitted, well-trained, and with a guide. And also to go around the rock, up the rock, at a certain time when you know that it's quite safe. Because during the rainy season, what happens is that because the rock is so high, and it is actually about 3.1 kilometers in circumference, you can actually walk around Zuma Rock. During April to October, when it's rainy, one of the reasons why people gave it the spiritual side is that the top of the hill catches fire. It catches fire not by magic or anything. It is because it is so high and clouds come in contact with it. And then when there is lightning, it strikes and causes fire in the forest or the trees that are there. So, I mean, in the olden days, they used to worship that and think it is under some tricks. And it has nothing to do with tricks or magic. It is science. So if you're climbing Zuma Rock, you have to watch out for that. Of course, the trail is also well mapped out. So when you come to Abuja and you're spending 2 nights, you can actually book to visit all these 3 places that we mentioned, the 3 arms of government, IBB Club, IBB International Club and Country Club, and the Zuma Rock. You're welcome to Abuja. Thank you.
That was a tour around Abuja. People have questions. First time anybody is bringing IBB golf course. People have questions. Is it open to anybody who wants to go there and play golf? Or do you have to be a member to go to IBB? Can I come to site C? What do you think?
Yeah, excuse me. IBB International Club and International Golf and Country Club is open to everyone. It is definitely restricted by membership. But if you are not a member, you just need a member to be your guest. You be a guest to a member. And there is a fee that either your host will pay for you or you pay. Typically, it's 5,000 that you pay for a whole day, and you can pay, and you can enjoy the club. There's restaurant there, and you can have your free breakfast, lunch, dinner. There are people who actually stay a whole day there. But now, due to coronavirus incidents, the restaurant is closed, and there are restrictions. The changing rooms have been locked up, so you have to prepare to have everything that you need, and you have to use your face mask, and and that's it. If you just have a host to introduce you, you have to register at the entry point, and then and you enjoy your golf. You can actually, we have tutors for those who want to learn. You can actually come there and they teach you. Within 7 days, you can start playing very good golf.
Okay. I do know the other question they asked, is the 3-arm zone open to the public? I do know the judiciary, unless you're going to the Supreme Court, Aso Rock, no way. In National Assembly, you can get all the way to the gate and you can go back. And basically, you can go to Eagle Square. I don't know if it's still open now, but you cannot go into any of those places without permits.
Yeah, you're correct. But as a Nigerian, you can actually go to the National Assembly and watch what is going on. But I know as a tourist, you will have several places to touch. So you don't really want to go in and disturb and have permission and all that. So by the gate, you can just drive around the gate and turn around and go around visiting other areas. But of course, we need to also let our police officers know that when they see tourists with cameras, doesn't mean that they are spies. So those who are organizing tour around, especially the 3 arms of government, need to actually have maybe presence of police so that and then trained police who with some time they will be better informed that camera, you don't need a camera to spy on anybody these days. You can Google. So having your phone and taking pictures does not mean that you are spying on anybody. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hopefully we will have some people in your hotel next week and subsequent weeks. Now we have our airline partner tidied up. So we'll be going to Abuja. And during the city tour, we'll try and get permit to go to the 3-arm zone. And I don't know about IBB Golf Club. And he said there's a crocodile pond there. Maybe if you don't know how to play golf, we'll push you inside the pond.
No, they actually don't attack. You will even see those people, human beings in the water, who are picking balls. They pick the balls when we play and we miss where the ball should go, and it goes inside the water. They pick the balls and sell back to us. So they make their living from there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I kept
right.
the big boy for the last. The biggest boy, who is the chairman BOT of FTAN, and before we go to Chief Sam Alabi, I want us to introduce the people for next week. Next week, we'll have a lot of energy, a lot of young people, a lot of people with passion, the people that are making things happen. We have them for next week. We have Aminat. Aminat is one of the youngest tour operators you have in Nigeria, and she plays big league. So we have Aminat for you, trips listers next week. Emeka and Nokuru couldn't come on the last time, so Emeka will be on with them next week. Then we have the giddy boss himself, Oga Taiwo, will be there. Big guy, owns airport, trains people, quite an amazing guy to have on board. He has energy, so watch out. And from Abuja, we have Ifoma Alio, so she's on next week. And our great guy who has trained quite a lot of young people. This guy is amazing. Not only is he hot, he's been able to influence quite a lot of young people. He's Emmanuel of TBS. His school is, I think, Exodus. He's trained quite a lot of young people. So these 5 people will be on next week. Don't miss it. You don't want to miss one of the youngest tour operators, big time player. You wouldn't believe how little she is, but she does amazing things. So next week, Amina, Emeka, Taiwo, Ifoma, and Emmanuel Losbury. So we go straight to Chief Alabi, who is the chairman BOT of FTAN, and also the president of Homal, and the former president of FTAN. I think is the immediate past president of FTAN. While we are waiting, is he ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, sir. So we'll take you, sir. We are waiting for you. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am privileged to be here on this program. Privileged in the sense that I am neither a tour operator or a destination owner. Let me apologize from the beginning that I'm on a moving vehicle, but that will not stop anything from happening. I will still speak as if I'm in my office. I also want to clarify that the topic, as I see it, is not the way others have been handling their own topics. The idea I had was challenges in assessing tourist destinations in Nigeria. And I've myself chosen to speak about a national park.
Go ahead, sir.
What? Sir?
Go ahead, that's acceptable.
Okay, because what I could see, people are marketing, showcasing different destinations in particular area of Nigeria. I'm just here to let you know what are the challenges inhibiting profitability and success of Kainji Lake Dam, Kainji Lake National Park, Kainji Lake National Park. It is amusing that federal government will sink money without getting commensurate returns from it, and nobody will talk. In 2015, when the DG of National Park Service was defending his budget at the National House of Assembly, they asked him a question. How much was expended in year 2014 on National Park? He gave the figure of 30,562 million plus as recurrent expenditure for all the 7 parks. And they asked him, what was the revenue? He said they recorded 24 million naira plus. That is for staff salaries and training and others. Federal government entrusted 30 billion only for the same service to record 24 million. This is not where I'm going now. Where I'm going now is to let you know
500 meters, turn right onto
the prospect that awaits Nigerians in the national park. Routes. I asked them severally.
Yeah, I know he's on the road. Okay, we are waiting for him. You know he's on the road.
Hello. Are you?
Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, our national parks have the keys to this low-hanging fruit. It is a very stable source of revenue for government. The Kanji National Park is about 5,000 kilometers square, broken into 3 segments. The one that is in Kwara State called Bogu, and then all these together forms a landmass of like 5,000 kilometers. That national park, like many other national parks in Nigeria, are seriously underutilized for several reasons. Number one, to assess Kanji National Parks, you can only do it well, properly from Ilorin. It's about 167 kilometers from Ilorin to get to Nibusa, the administrative headquarters of the park. If you are coming from Abuja, it's about 350 something kilometers. And then if you are coming from Lagos, it's more than 500 kilometers. The road between Pasita connecting you to Nibusa Road is as bad as anything. And then when you now veer off into Nibusa Road, it's even worse. So this is a huge discouraging factor to tourists from accessing the place. Number two, recent animal census conducted shows that wildlife population are decreasing by the day. They are decreasing heavily because of illegal poaching and wildlife migration into other unprotected areas. Number two, the number of employees required to run the place are not just available. They are short-staffed to adequately oversee the administration of the park. Number three, the opportunity to trace animals as done in other developed safari, like in Namibia, Kenya, and others, are not available there. We are still running our things in the usual, in the usual physical manner, or like tagging animals that will trace them on the system. Then logistics. It is unfortunate, but it is true. The truth is that the walkie-talkie to talk among the employees are not available. Even moving around the games park, vehicles are not there. Even the few that are there have not been properly maintained. Going by Nigerian culture, I'm sorry to say that, poor maintenance culture. And you can now imagine if a car breaks down in the middle of games reserve, where wild animals could come and attack tourists. So, and then you have the issue of GPS tracking system is lacking there. There's none. And it is unbelievable that we are in this century and nothing's been done. There's no vet clinic is not there. So much so that if an animal is suspected to be sick, they cannot be treated. And if they cannot be treated, they can easily infect other animals if whatever that is happened to that animal is infectious. Long and short of it is that we are not there yet in Nigeria. I'm an advocate of government injecting funds, giving grants to private management company that will oversee the management of our national park, and then they will now be paying a commission or a percentage of revenue from tourists back to government. Government should also be involved in importation of wildlife into the place because of large number of wildlife that have been lost. Government need to position more conservators in national parks to maintain and develop other exotic plants that could be attractive to visitors. Besides all this, I believe our national parks hold the key to future tourism development. Before I forget, it is unbelievable that there's no hotel, a Befiti hotel in the national park in Ibusa. The nearest best hotel is in Ilorin. If you check the website of Kanji National Park, if you ask for hotel, they will give you hotels in Ilorin. I'm talking of Ilorin that is about 165 kilometers to the park. That's an absurdity, and it will not help in achieving the objectives behind the setting up of the national park. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my own little contribution. For more discussions, question and answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is amazing. And you could see the comments. Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you.
We can hear you. Okay. This is amazing. Okay, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that is my piece, showcasing the challenges in assessing Kanji National Parks. I've identified those challenges, and it is for all of us to look at how to ameliorate such shortcomings in the interest of our nation.
Thank you. Thank you. Even in trying to showcase the challenges you have, you actually made it a location of great importance to us. A national park of such size on both sides of the river, Kwara State and Niger, and no hotel. You have to go 400 kilometers to get a night out. Creates opportunities. Those challenges creates opportunities for people to come and invest. I'm thinking of doing 3 houses in the national parks. Another person can think of doing 20-room boutique hotels. Another person can build around salt lakes. But this is an opportunity for us to give our national parks attention. We have not done much. And I thank Chief for drawing our attention to national parks as a big draw. Kenya, everybody uses their national park. There is a study that shows that the use of land for tourism has more return on investment than agri, more than 10 times. The national parks in South Africa generates more money than the land use for agri. The same in other places in the world. This is, you can Google that and find out it's a genuine study. So we can actually use quite a lot to do our national parks. Basil, MD of SACO, tells us here now that the Air Force manages accommodation at New Busa. That's on the other side of the national park. So quite a lot we can do to be able to showcase our talent. And I take that up with the Controller General of the Conservator General of the National Park. He's supposed to be on, and do we have Basil on so he can make it Basil? So I thank you, Chief. These are things that are germane. We need to be able to transform. We need to be able to transform our national parks into genuine tourism attractions. We've talked about, only Yankari has been mentioned, and along with Okomu and Cross River National Park. This is the first time somebody is bringing out Kenji. And Kenji is not far from Mount Patti, not far from River Niger, not far from the dam. Quite a lot of attractions in that cluster. Quite a lot of things. And Basil, I think we have to put Basil on. Basil, so you need to tell us about all these places you are talking about in New Busa. Please find Basil and let's know. Okay, Basil, you're talking about the places in New Busa. Let's give attention to the national park. You're talking with experience, so can you tell us a little bit about it? Unmute your phone, Basil.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It's actually very beautiful to be here. Unfortunately, you are speaking about areas that I have interest and quite a little bit of knowledge of. I actually served in the Kaji Lake National Park, I think almost more than 20 years ago. And during the course of my service, I remembered I put up a book because I've had opportunity to visit some other national parks in Nigeria, like, yes, I haven't served in the Kaji Lake National Park, like the Yankari you just mentioned, then I think the Okwango branch of the Cross River National Park. So I had a little bit of knowledge of the national park due to the studies that I carried out in time past. And I think one of the advantages that I still believe that the national Kaji Lake National Park need to take advantage of is the Air Force facility in New Busa. You know, when you talk about New Busa is actually the town where even up the staff at the national park resided. Yes, anytime they needed to take visitors to the national park, there's a place where you call the Oli, which is right inside the national park where you have the main river. And I think that is actually the major aspect of attraction, but the national park office is in New Busa. And apart from, yes, the speaker only spoke about the national park, but there are so many other attractions. For example, the only wildlife college is located in New Busa. I think it's the only one in West Africa. And when you look at it, then you have the fishery, which is the Institute of Fisheries and something research, 20 years ago. So I'm just trying to put these thoughts together now. So, but it's actually a long time, but if only Nigeria is ready to maximize those facilities for tourism, and I think it's a thing to think about. Look at, for example, the Kainji Lake National Park. It's still a sight to behold up to today, despite the number of years after which what do you call it now? I'm talking about the source of electricity from
Kainji Dam.
Good. When you look at Kainji Dam, so taking a visit to, I remember I wrote a poem about that Kainji Dam. When you take a visit to the Kainji Dam, even up to today, considering the number of years that that dam was established, you know that it's actually, these are tourist facilities that Nigeria need to sell, and I believe that as a country, we need to begin to manage and make money out of them. There are Kanji, Nubusa, well, we call it Kanji because Kanji takes its name from the dam itself. It's very rich in tourism. And I think that when we are looking at the wonders of the world, that town itself, the Kanji environment is actually a tourist attraction. Like, yes, just the last speaker spoke about, the problem is the road. Because if you look at I remember when I was going for youth service, when we took off from Abuja, when we got to that road, some of our couples that we were traveling together, maybe we got to Mokwa and we entered that road. I remember a young man that began to cry because he said the road that goes to New Busa is like the road to hell. You can stay in one distance and you see a long road kilometers ahead. But like, yes, he's just told me because I've not been there for some time that the road has become so bad. So I think the government need to look at it because the entire environment on that side, I know it's a reserved environment. And if we have such facilities and we're not looking at it, like you have said, one of the major problems that national parks in Nigeria are having are the issue of poachers. Because poachers, they are doing great disservice and great harm to our national parks, which what our poachers are doing, they are there, depopulating the numbers of the animals in the park. But I think, because for example, I remember when I was a copper there, one thing is that you tell people, you go to the forest, you can see animals, but people thought, this one crazy. So if we can go outside the world like South Africa and other places to look at animals, let's develop our own and sell them to the world. And especially now that we are looking on how to make money outside the oil, I think that is one of the best ways to go. And I think the current person in charge of National Park, Goni, yes, a beautiful officer who has worked in the National Park, but sometimes we don't know why sometimes anything is not working in Nigeria. But I think what you are doing is a right step in the right place. Of course, when we have other opportunities, maybe I could refresh my memory on some of the things that I've written down in time past, and possibly I could talk about them. Thank you for this opportunity. Hello, are you still there?
Thank you, sir. Basil, for those that don't know, former journalist, but now the MD of SACOR. He's the MD of the biggest, one of the biggest handling companies in West Africa. So he's always been with us. We are proud of his achievement. He's supposed to be in the aviation environment, but you see him talking with authority on these issues. So we thank you for this contribution, Basil. And I think we have to bring you in the future as a guest, so you give us your own perspective of this. We have dragged on, so we have to end today. But before we go, we'll launch the flyer for the trip to Abuja next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we also will do, have our guests on, don't miss it. But we'll leave you today with the top 10 most active tourism states in the country. This is a wake-up call for the other states to join. If you have plans for tourism in your state, please let us know. Thank you. See you next week. And just enjoy this clip and talk to your governor. We still need to do a lot for tourism in Nigeria. Thank you.
Superstar.
I don't get a lot, God do it. And I don't pay my rent, God do it. There be one for my hand, but God do it. There be one keep my joy, but God do it. I say anything them do, now God do it. No, now God do it. No, now God do it, no. Anything them do, now God do it. No, now God do it. No, now God do it, no. I don't change my name to God you. I no more, I don't buy more to God you. They say my market no go sell you, God you. And then me say I no go blue, God you. Them my brother, make them try their luck, my God go win. No, my God go win. No, my Lord go win, no. Anything I do, now God do it. No, now God do it. No, now God do it, no. As you don't pass exam, now God you win. And then be say you no go pass, for God you win. You wake up, see today last song, now God you win. Robbers they rob, they no see you, brother.